I was born in Hackensack, New Jersey. Suburbs, spoiled, only child. And on my dad's side, I'm the baby.
Did you like school?
I did. I was a math girly, spelling bee girly.
You were like about the school life.
Absolutely. I moved to Durham in 6th grade.
Were you already into music by the time you got to North Carolina?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I've been singing since I was born.
Did you used to like be in your room singing and stuff?
Remotes, hairbrushes, combs, everything was a mic. My dad was A&R for Sony at the time, so I was always like...
Wait.
I was in a girl group managed by Coco from SWV.
That's crazy. Artists out there.
Get a vocal producer. You need one.
Rone is one.
Yeah.
How do you manage church, tour, work?
I put my time in to take a leave of absence for a tour. My boss said no. And I said, well, I'm giving you my 2 weeks. 2018, I was a sophomore in college. My dad died. And I'm like, bro, what?
What up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the RXS podcast. I'm Rajay, and I got a special guest in the building, Rone Grant. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. I'm great. How are you?
I'm good.
That's good.
I'm happy that you're here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, you made
I've been pressed. I've been pressed a little bit. I'm like, everybody on the podcast. When is it my turn?
Your turn is now. Let's go.
I love that. I'm ready.
So you already know what's up. Take me all the way back to the beginning.
Okay.
Where were you born?
Okay, so I was born in Teaneck, New Jersey. No, I was born in Hackensack, New Jersey. So that's like North Jersey.
Say that city again.
Hackensack.
Hackensack.
Yes, Hackensack. And it's spelled how it sounds.
I've never heard of Hackensack. That's okay, though.
It's fine.
But it's still up north.
Yeah. So I was born in Hackensack, New Jersey. Born and raised in Teaneck. So that's like 5 minutes from Hackensack.
So is Hackensack where the hospital is?
Yes.
But you live
I lived in
grew
Teaneck.
That makes sense.
Yes. So, yeah.
What was it like there?
I was a kid. So it was, suburbs, spoiled. Like,
so when we say spoil, what kind of spoil we talking?
Only child. And on my dad's side, I'm the baby. And I mean baby by a gap. Like my sister is like almost in her 40s. If not in her 40s. But yeah, it's a gap.
So like anything you want, that type of vibe?
I got it. And I was good in school. I got good grades.
Oh, so
I
that's
was good
like,
in 2 shoes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you like school?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I was a math girly.
Okay.
I was a spelling bee girly.
Oh, you were like about the school life.
Absolutely. Like I wanted to go to school.
Like you woke up in the morning like, yeah, let's go.
Ready. Lunch packed.
Hey, tell me about what was in the box. Was it a box, a bag? What was it?
It was like a little lunch box. It was purple.
Okay.
What was in my lunchbox? So it depended on what was in the house for groceries.
So what was your favorite thing to take for lunch?
Honestly, stereotypical sandwich.
Okay.
But it was the snacks that got me, honestly. So like if it was fruit snacks in there, then I was like, okay.
Yeah.
That's what I look forward to. This fruit snacks, the little Oreo cookies. My mom would put them in Ziploc bags.
Let's go.
But yeah. I moved to Durham when I was in 6th grade.
Okay.
So that was kind of a culture shock.
Yeah.
A little bit.
And whose idea was it to move?
My mom.
Know? Okay.
She was, and honestly, we didn't know nobody here. We don't have no family in Durham. We have family in Henderson, but even still, it was like, we ain't know nobody.
That's crazy.
And she said the Lord... It was Holy Ghost led. So
is your mom like a preacher or something?
No.
She just loved the Lord and hear his voice.
No, so her granddad is a bishop, was a bishop.
Okay.
And then her dad was like deacon of the church.
Okay.
Deacon. So yeah, like church kid. My mom was a church kid. I'm a church kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's just very in tune to the Holy Spirit. And she was like, yeah, I don't think I want to raise my daughter here anymore.
Wow.
On top of that, like rent going up, things like that. Yeah. And she was just like, okay, Lord, where I need to go.
Wow.
And she was like, he said Durham. She was like, she never heard of it because we were going to go to Georgia, according to what she told me, because I'm older now.
Yeah.
So she's like telling me everything. And she was like, oh, yeah, I was going to go to Georgia, like Atlanta area, like, you know, the outside cities of Atlanta.
Yep.
Yeah, we were going to go there. And then she was like, no, North Carolina, Durham. And that's how we ended up here.
So you're in the 6th grade. So like you're old enough to have some insight. Were you excited? Or was it bittersweet, like leaving friends?
It was, so I didn't really have that many friends in New Jersey. I had like my close 3. Okay. And even then, like, we didn't have like texting all the time.
Yeah.
Like so when I moved, it was like, I was just pretty much starting from scratch.
Okay.
I missed my cousins, of course, my dad at the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, it wasn't really like, oh my God, I'm gonna miss everybody. Of course my family, but it was just like starting from scratch.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a culture shock though.
Yeah. What was different? What were the biggest differences that you noticed right away?
It was just quiet. So the part of Jersey that I'm from is North Jersey. So I'm like, take the George Washington Bridge, 10 minutes from New York City.
Yeah.
And my dad lived in New York, and I was always with my dad like all the time.
Yeah.
So I went from being in the city all the time to like.
And when you're from there, even though you're in Durham, that's the country.
Yes. So
it's still the country.
Yeah, New Jersey is quiet. Yeah. Like the part of Jersey I'm from, like even now, it's deer in the street, like deer across the street from my granddad's house. It's quiet.
Yeah.
But also too, like I could just hit up my cousin and be like, y'all want to go to the city?
Yeah.
On a bus, we there.
And you couldn't do that no more in Durham?
No.
Like, was the food different?
No.
Okay, so you want like...
Actually, I'm lying because my family, my godmom, they have a family restaurant.
Oh, dope.
So like the food, the cooking, the soul food, it was kind of hard for me to find good soul food here when we first moved, honestly. I was like, what is this?
Because of what you're used to.
Yeah, and the Chinese food too, because Chinese food up north is like
banging,
top tier.
Yeah.
So definitely the food was a little different, but my mom was cooking most of the time too, so I wasn't like, oh, this is that much of a difference.
Were you already into music by the time you got to North Carolina?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I've been singing since I was born. Wow. Literally like singing in church. My dad was A&R for Sony at the time, so I was always like...
Wait. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. My dad...
That's a big deal.
Yeah. Talent scout, A&R, Sony Music.
So were you ever like around the offices?
Absolutely.
We have to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yo.
Mm-hmm. It got when I got a little older though, my dad would call my mom and be like, all right, Renee's in here saying these people can't sing. We got to talk to her. She can't be doing it. Yeah.
So did you ever like see stars rolling through there?
Yeah. So when Destiny's Child kind of started splitting, Michelle tried to do a solo situation when she was doing that. I was around her a lot. I did meet Kelly and Beyonce. I didn't see Beyonce most of the time, but definitely I felt like I was more... I saw Michelle more.
Yeah.
But I did meet all 3 of them. I don't really remember, but I'm sure I met them all. And then Tyrese, my dad used to work with him. Yeah. I don't remember this, but there was a story of me being scared of Michael Jackson in the elevator. Crazy. My dad literally was so embarrassed because I was screaming, crying. It was like... They told me it was when he first got that surgery, so his nose was like, and I was terrified. Yeah.
That's crazy. So you're in those offices, you're at church. So are you already in your mind knowing you're going to like sing for real?
Yeah.
Did you used to like be in your room singing and stuff?
Remotes, mics, hairbrushes, mics. Combs, mics, everything was a mic.
Yeah.
I used to try to figure out like how I'm gonna get a mic stand. Like I remember when I was younger, I'm trying to figure out how I was gonna get a mic stand. And I used to dance too.
Okay.
So in my head, I was just a superstar. Like I used to use the cups. My mom would be pissed, but I used to take the cups because I was a ballerina too. So I'm like, before I got old enough to be on point shoes, I would like put the cups on my toes and like and like be in the kitchen like twirling and stuff. It was crazy.
Yo,
I was just in my head. I was a superstar.
That's crazy.
I did it all.
So how old were you when you like realized you liked to dance?
So my mom put me in dance when I was about 3.5 or 4.
Okay.
So I was in like ballet class, like
Okay.
literally training. But she told me that she did it for like, I keep hitting this, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
She told me that she put me in dance for like discipline.
Smart mom.
So she didn't think, I think she knew in her mind, like, okay, she's going to like it, but she put it in there for me to know how to like carry myself, posture, how to talk to people, things like that. So that's why I was in ballet. But when I got older, I was like, oh no, I want to keep doing this.
Wow.
So when I got older, right before we moved, I was at Dance Theater of Harlem in New York, sister school to Alvin Ailey. And I was training there. And then I got on point, and then we moved here, and I just...
Oh, yeah. Man. So at that point, you're further away from like dance in the sense of school. You're further away from your dad. Did the move initially have an effect on you?
It did. Because when you in 6th grade, you going through a lot. Puberty, it's all the things. So I will say I was kind of like in more of a confused state, or just trying to like find where I fit in.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm the new kid in school.
Yeah.
And I'm not even from North Carolina. So I'm like, and I was tall.
Yeah.
So it was just like trying to find where I fit in. I was just like, I used to call my dad like, I never said I wanted to come back home to live. I will say that I don't remember saying that I wanted to come back home, but I was just like, I don't have no friends.
Yeah.
But I mean, it made me who I am now.
Yeah.
So I'm like.
So once you got here, did your mom like try to find things for you to do as far as dancing and singing?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So middle school I was just finding my way, doing good in school. I was just honestly just kind of going with the motions a lot.
Yeah.
But I did. So my school ended up getting there was like a marching band.
Okay.
And then of course you got the dance girls.
Yeah.
So when that came, I was like, oh, I want to dance. But before that, I was playing basketball. I don't really want to talk about that too much.
You must have been trash.
Oh, I was trash. I was trash.
So your mom made you play basketball?
No. I was just tall, and the coach was like, oh, you got to be on the team because you're tall. You could probably play. And I was like, I can't play basketball. I'm a ballerina. I can't play basketball.
Wait a minute. What kind of school are you at where you get on the team just because
I was
you're
at
tall?
a charter school.
Okay, Rone. That makes a lot of sense because that, other than that don't make sense.
I was not at a public school at all. I was at a charter school, and the coach saw me, and she was like, no, it was a he. He was like, you need to be on the team. And I was like, but I can't play basketball. And he was like, it's okay. We'll help you out. I was on the bench.
Like all season?
Until senior night.
Oh, wait. So you ain't have no minutes until senior night?
No. And then they only put me in the game like
to sub for somebody that was tired.
Yes. And I always got fouled. So it was a mess. But I always make my free throws.
Oh, let's go.
I make my free throws every time. So
yo,
it's fine. But when I saw that the auxiliary like dance team was coming, I was like, oh, I'm out of here. I'm quitting. I'm done. I don't want any more parts of this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I started dancing again.
Yeah.
And I did that until I got to high school. So I was still in the band. I went to Southern High School.
Okay.
And I was in the band doing.
So now that you're in high school, is that public?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yeah,
so we're in a public environment.
Yes.
Do we have any friends yet? Do we have like some vibes going with some people? Or we
Yeah, I had friends.
Okay.
I had friends.
Were they like for real friends, or they were just like?
No, they was just. We just kind of meshed. So I kind of got my friends when I was on a dance team. So then it was like, okay, we was kind of clicked up. Like, oh, the dance girls sit together. We together all the time. We got the same classes.
Like, were people giving y'all a hard time being the dance girls?
Mm-mm.
Okay, that's good.
No.
That's beautiful.
No, it was chill.
Okay.
My junior year, I started doing dance company.
What's that?
So that's more like technical.
Okay.
So that's what I knew to be like dance. Like, okay, now I'm doing ballet again, lyrical, contemporary. I was struggling on the hip hop side because I'm like, I don't really know too much about this.
Oh.
But then I started singing for real in high school.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And were you already familiar with your voice, or that was a time for discovery as well, like with singing?
Yeah, so I was kind of finding my voice because I was in a girl group. Well, starting a girl group managed by Coco from SWV.
That's crazy.
So when I got in high school, that started, and she had made a post. Honestly, I don't know where it was, but she made a post, and she was like, "I'm looking for a girl group in like the North Carolina, Virginia area." And my mom was like, "Oh, Rone is here," because we know her from like up north. My mom knew her, like she worked with my family and things like that. So she was like, "Oh my God, Rone's in a perfect spot." So I sent her this video of me singing "Something Is Missing" by Brandy.
Yeah.
And my hair wasn't done. My mom was pissed. Hair wasn't done. I ain't have on no lip gloss. Video was black and white, and I'm just singing. Made the girl group, and we was just. That's when I started like, okay, studio.
Yeah.
I'm kind of finding my voice.
Yeah.
And things like that.
What was that experience like working with other girls? How many other girls was it?
So it was 4 of us.
Okay.
Then it was 3 of us.
Okay.
And then that one, it was a.
So you and one of the members had a.
No, so it was 3 of us, but it was just always one girl that it was a revolving door. So
like
there were like it was like
2
3
solid members and one
yes,
revolving.
and then we had 3 different girls. Honestly, it was 3 different girls, and then towards the end, it was the 3 of us for a while, and then one left. Wow. And then it was me and JoJo, who I love so much.
Yeah.
But then we just we got older. It was like I was in college by that time.
Yeah.
We was just doing our own thing.
Did y'all put any music out?
We put out a Christmas song.
Okay. Can people go listen to it?
I think it's still on iTunes.
Okay.
It's by TTYL. It sounds good. It's
Hey.
good. But yeah, we put that out, and then I think that's really it.
Yeah.
We didn't really get to really put music out. We have a cover on SoundCloud. We did a couple of performances in Virginia, but
dang,
I don't knock it though, because the girl group grew me.
Yeah.
A lot.
So what did you learn from it?
How to work with people, especially females, because attitudes and things like that. But
so that's a real thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. How to work with people, but mostly singing in the studio, because singing in the studio
is talk to them.
And singing live is 2 totally different.
Like it's not the same at all.
Yeah, it's not the same.
So were you already familiar with it before getting in the group, or that's where you learned?
It just came. It was just like,
but
it was something that I dreamed of doing, something that I always wanted to do. So when I got in there, I was like, oh.
And plus, hearing your upbringing, like, you're in your comfort zone at that point because that's what you're used to.
Yeah.
That's what you're used to being around. That's what you're used to seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Did you find yourself more naturally gravitating to it than the other girls? You don't want to. Okay, you don't have to answer that.
I mean, so we all had our thing.
Okay.
So like
when you say y'all all had y'all thing, you mean like strengths?
Everybody had a different strength. Everybody had a different strength and what worked for them in the studio. Like, I'm never gonna forget JoJo. She had to take this one blanket in the studio in the booth every time. Like she would go in there and she would sing and we would be like, and she'd be like, yeah, it's not. She'd be like, hold on, I gotta get my blanket. She would get her blanket and she would go in there and sing. And then
she just needed comfort.
And then the other one, well, me and the other girl, we just turn the lights out.
Okay.
Sing in the dark.
Okay.
That usually worked. But honestly, I struggled for a while with like belting in the studio because like I said, it's different.
Yes.
So like how I would sing on a mic in church or like at an open mic is not how I would sing that in the studio.
Yeah.
So I struggled with that for a little bit, and of course the low notes because I'm not a tenor.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
what are you naturally?
A soprano.
Okay.
I want to be an alto real bad, but I'm definitely a soprano. Yeah.
So like, did you learn anything from like the writers and producers in that phase?
Writing was not my strong point.
Okay.
I could like even to this day I feel like I can now because I'm older and I done been through some stuff, so I could write something now. But then I was like, this is not really flowing how I want. But studio taught me vocal production. Like I will put together some harmonies out of nowhere. Like I could probably put something together right now and be like, oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
So vocal production, arranging, and I really want to learn actually how to like mix.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because towards the end of our tenure in the group, I was like recording, pressing record, and like moving
so you were
stuff
engineering
over.
the sessions.
Yeah.
That's
but
fire.
I wanted to do more of it because that was literally our last session. I was learning how to engineer, and then after that, there was no more of us. But
I want to go back to the vocal production piece because I don't think it's talked about enough. Like, I know from experience that sometimes, most times, it is very important to have a vocal producer because like just because you go in the studio, know the song
and know how to sing,
don't mean this finna come out right.
Right.
So you need somebody that know how to like.
And sometimes like me and my mom talk about this a lot, often to this day. So the very last single that I put out, B2M, was vocal produced by Ajani.
Okay.
She's a background singer for her.
Yes, I know exactly who she is.
Yeah, so she did most of the vocal production, but so she did like the arranging of the BGVs. Like we kind of did that together, but I wanted her to like lead me or whatever.
Yes.
When I tell you we got in that session, first of all, the session was like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours.
Okay.
Maybe 3 hours. I'm gonna give it 3. But she didn't even like tell me, like the most she told me was, okay, you did that run a couple times, switch it up.
Yeah.
So sometimes it don't even take for somebody to be like, sing it like this, but having just somebody in the room will make you do something different.
Yes.
So
Yes.
But I'm for both. I mean, I wanted her there because I wanted her to tell me every single note to do.
And the crazy thing is, you're gifted enough to not need it as much.
Right.
But there are some artists who need to hire.
You need it.
Because the crazy thing is, this is another thing. There are some producers that are very good at making music, but don't know how to vocal produce.
Yeah.
So they'll make dope music, and then they'll record the track for you to sing, and that's it.
And then that's it.
So then the vocals don't
match.
Yes.
It don't match the like the track can be fire. And then you got the vocals and it's like, dang, if you would have done this,
yes,
that would have smacked.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, artists out there,
get a vocal producer.
Yes. Facts.
You need one.
Rone is one.
Yeah. I would love to vocal produce. I would love it.
Yeah.
I feel like if I don't sing another song, if I get in the studio with somebody and I'm like, okay, add this harmony. Do this run like this.
Yes. What?
I would be sweet. Sweet. I love harmonies. I love like vocal production. If you take music out of a track, like acapella, I could listen to acapella songs all day.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a good one.
Yeah, yeah. So what's your favorite acapella to listen to right now?
Anything Brandy. I'm so sorry.
Of course.
Or honestly, anything Victoria Monet.
Listen to me.
And y'all better stop sleeping on my girl because
listen to me. Yo.
And it be the small stuff. It don't even be, honestly, I love Brandy down, but her stuff be busy. And everybody can't hear what's going on. I love Brandy. And that's why I love vocal production because of her and like arranging and harmonies. I love it because of her. But it be the simple stuff.
Yeah.
Like
That's
just
real.
the simple harmonies that go with the chords.
Okay. Oh, wait. That's another thing. I hear that a lot. I hear it. Sorry, this is true. I hear it in gospel a lot. And I hear it in quartet a lot. Hey guys, the 3 notes in that background is not the 3 notes in that chord, buddy. Wait a minute. That's not it.
Yeah, I better be singing and match these chords.
Yo, that really irks me.
Yeah, that be tearing my nerves up too.
It's like, no, you got to sing a half step up. You don't hear that note in the
You
middle.
don't hear that.
You
You don't hear that, no. But sometimes, you know what's crazy though? Sometimes people don't be hearing it.
They don't.
It be killer singers that don't be hearing it.
Yes.
They don't be hearing it.
And that's the importance of a vocal producer, like somebody who has an ear to match the chords, bro. Because it changes the listening experience when everything is like tighter.
And then sometimes to get back on that vocal producer thing, you just need another ear.
Yes.
Whether you can sing good and whether like anything like me, like if I know that I can arrange, I know that I make good harmonies or whatever the case. To have somebody else in the studio with you, period, whether they are a vocal producer, like just have another ear in there.
Yo, cause no lie, this is real too. Sometimes you can have like your homie with you that love music but don't do music, and they be like, that ain't hitting.
Right.
Like as a person who would be consuming it like the average person, they could be like,
nah, that wasn't it.
Nah, that ain't hitting.
Yeah.
So that's real. Like to be able to have somebody in there to bounce ideas off of another ear. That's I agree.
It's needed.
What do you feel about the fact that some people don't like that? Like I've been in situations where an artist is sensitive about their stuff. And it's like,
I know people like that.
Suggestions are offensive.
I know people
like you're
that.
attacking their whole life by telling them that something could be slightly different to make it better.
Me personally,
you
don't got to tell me twice.
You
don't want to hear what I got to say? Well, then you put it out. And when the people is like, don't say I didn't tell you.
That's real.
Seriously.
That's real.
Because it's some people out here that really think, okay.
No, let's talk about it.
It's some people out here that really think, now I'm not saying you can't sing. I'm not saying your music is trash, but you need help.
Yes.
And it's okay.
Yes. And what happens is,
it's okay to need help.
When you have especially small towns.
Yes.
Like when you're the best person in your town and everybody has told you for so long how dope you are. When you run up on people who actually are dope, you think you one of them. And you not. You not. It's okay that you not.
And then you be having your backgrounds that don't match the chord.
Exactly. And then here's the thing, Rone. Don't want to be told anything, but frustrated that their career is not going the way they wanted to go. You can't be told nothing.
Yep. Get y'all some help. Get the help. And honestly, it can be frustrating because it's like a lot of the times it's like, no, I want to do this by myself, which is real. That's a real feeling to feel.
Yes.
But also like me, like when it comes to writing, it's like, I don't want to always have to be like, can you help me write this? Because I want to do it by myself.
Yes.
But also,
you're smart enough to not put out a whack song.
You need help. Yeah. Like I need help.
Like do as much as you can.
Yeah.
Go as far as you can go. And then find one trusted person that you know does this well and be like, what do you think?
Exactly. Even the last single I put out, B2M, same thing. I had the verse, I had the first verse, and I had the chorus. And I hit up my girl Joe. I was like, I need something like right in the middle. Like it's not, I don't know, I got these harmonies, but I need something. She sent me something back. And I'm like, literally like 4 lines.
Yes.
It's okay to call on your people.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
It's cool.
Roger is the way you say it. When I went to Central, I said, my goal is to make my name known around this area. I went there and became the bottom
You the top in Wilson, the bottom at Central.
instantly.
Did you lose your mojo?
I kept thinking like, man, I need to get some more stuff under my belt before I do anything.
They see it as, ain't no child gonna tell me what to do.
He said, I'm going to stay on your A, like white on rice. I went home and told my mom, I said, Mom, I don't like this nigga. I don't like him.
If you're in the music, you gonna give the song what it needs. If you in your head, you just gonna play what you know how to play.
Ask questions if you don't know.
If you don't know. What is feel?
What is feel? I did like this. I started feeling myself while I played a little bit. The best thing that happened to us is the things that we don't see happening to us.
Interesting.
A lot of people don't know this, but I struggle with hearing loss. Everybody has a flaw.
Yeah.
It makes...
I just seen a video on Instagram, and it was an interview with Snoop and Jamie Foxx. And Snoop was saying, I'm at a point in my career where I don't have to write all of my stuff. And he said, it's a superpower when you let other people in on writing because they can express things in a way that you never would have thought, and it may get you further than where you are.
Okay.
And that's the thing. It's like, there are some people.
It's
Talk about it. Go ahead. I
don't know, because I feel like that's cool to say for people who don't even want to be an artist. And they're like, I just want to be a ghostwriter.
Yeah.
Let me just write this for you and get it out. But then if you have somebody like me, like, no, I want money is where the writing is at.
Yeah.
So I want to write my stuff. Yeah. I'll get help.
Okay.
We can share it.
Okay. That's an interesting point. Because now I gotta play devil's advocate.
I'm not just gonna willingly let somebody write for me.
But listen though, but here's the thing. I know your answer, but let's pretend I don't know your answer.
Okay.
Because we're going to have this conversation for them.
Okay.
Okay, Rone. You wrote 100% of this song.
Okay.
You own 100% of it.
Mm-hmm.
You get 100% publishing.
Mm-hmm.
But what if it's a banger if you got a co-writer? Would you be willing?
Absolutely.
I think that's the point.
Absolutely.
I don't think some people are willing to have a smaller piece of a bigger pie.
Greed. That's greedy.
And that's what
I'm gonna take the help every time.
Yes.
This a little deep, but that's like saying I'm gonna go through life without God. I don't need him for nothing. No.
That's real. Yeah.
It's a little bit of a big jump,
but
still,
no,
it's like the same thing.
But here's the thing. That is a crazy analogy, but when you look at it from the lens of, I want my art to take care of my life.
Right.
When you want your art to take care of your life, there's a lot of artists out here. Mm-hmm. You have to be good.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like to say I pay my bills from creating and releasing music, you have to be good.
Yeah, you have to be that. I don't want to say something else, but you have to be good.
Yes.
Otherwise, go ahead to
go clock in and just do it when you get off.
Do what you need to do, and then when you get off, go ahead and hit your in-home studio.
Yeah. And that's real. Like,
do it that way.
I think some aspiring artists should take a moment to reflect and ask themselves, like, what do I want out of this, and what is the end goal? Mm-hmm. Because
that's good. I actually never thought about that myself. Yes, that's good.
Because like once you think about that, it kind of lets you know what you need. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, if I be in my feelings sometimes, and my passion is writing, so I just want to make sure people know how I feel. Okay, write the song by yourself. You can make the beat by yourself. You can mix it by yourself. Put it out. People know how you feel. You did it. But if it's like, I want to be on these stages and I want to make this much per show and I want the world to know my name, that's different.
Yeah.
You have to like plan according to what you aspire to do and be.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's
With a little
having
bit of
people in the
help.
room. Like your fans in your little city are not enough to justify you thinking you know how to do it by yourself.
Mm-hmm. And it's good to have people who tell you what you want to hear, but you also need them people that's gonna be like, let's go back to the drawing board.
Yes.
Let's fix this note and fix this lyric.
Yes.
And we'll try again.
And here's the thing, Rone. The thing is, if you're willing to do that and you get to the space where when you're being helped,
Mm-hmm.
you're soaking it in,
Mm-hmm.
there will come a time where you've soaked so much help in that you're able to dial up all of the help you've ever gotten when you're in a room by yourself.
Yep.
You're going to remember when that person told you about that note or that lyric. I remember she said this. Let me try that.
Yep.
That's the vibes.
Yep. To this day, anytime I'm in the studio, I'm never going to forget one thing Ajani taught me. If she didn't teach me nothing else, if I didn't hear nothing else from that session, when I'm stacking, she was like, oh, sing it a little bit harder every time. Intensify it every time. Don't sing it super hard, but just add a little bit more pressure every time you stack.
Oh.
Because that make it sound fuller.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a that's a gem.
I just gave y'all a gem.
That's a super
gem. And it was
gem.
for me.
Yeah, that's fire.
Yeah. So if I'm not even in a room with her again in another session,
yes,
I know that when I get back in the studio, okay, when I stack this is how I'm gonna do it. Yeah. Every time.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So I want to talk to you about like how you got into what you're into now, but I don't want to rush it.
Okay.
So after the girl group,
yes.
What happened?
After the girl group, so okay, it's a little weird how it happened. So it was two of us for a while. We tried to do a cover. We didn't get to put it out. But I was still in high school. So let's say that was like junior, senior year of high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was doing like singing at church, of course, here. And I was like singing background for people.
Okay.
Like local artists in the area.
Yeah.
I was doing that, and then now the timeline is getting a little. So I started doing my own stuff. So I put out a single.
Yeah.
When I was in, I want to say it was 2020.
Oh wow.
It was 2020. Okay, no, I gotta back up.
Okay.
To when I really was like, oh no, I'm gonna really go hard.
Okay.
So 2018, my dad died. Not too much, because I'm a water bug. I'll cry real bad. So we're not gonna stay there long. But 2018, my dad died. I was a sophomore in college. Right?
Okay.
So that happened, and I'm like, bro, what? So I kind of course, you go through a grieving phase, and I'm still grieving now. Like it comes in phases. It comes in,
Yeah.
little patches, but so I went to World Overcomers. I visited one Sunday, the Sunday after my dad died. So it was like January 2019.
Okay.
Because he died in December. So it was like Christmas, New Year's. It was like,
yeah.
So
yeah.
I came back home New Year's Eve.
Okay.
So I was home, and then I went to church, not my home church, but it was a church I was going to.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say what happened as to why I left, because
yeah.
But went to the church, something happened, and I was like, Mom, you know what? It's only like 10:30. Let's just go to Road Overcomers. They start at 11 because they was having 2 services at the time.
Uh-huh.
So we went to Road Overcomers. Church was great. Pastor Andy preached down.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I've ever heard him preach the way he preached.
Wow.
Preached down. Worship was good. Worship is always good to me there.
Yeah.
Worship was good, and we were going.
Yeah.
Sundays, I would see Josh, and I'm like, speak to him every Sunday. And so I remember, I'm never gonna forget. He texted me while I was in the CAF.
Okay.
Central. I went to Central, graduated from.
And
North
when you say
Carolina
he, you mean
Central.
Josh.
Josh.
So you already had a relationship with Josh before
Yes.
singing at the church.
Yes, because I used to do Black Nativity at
Okay.
Hillside High School.
Okay.
So I was doing that, and that's how I met Josh.
Okay. Okay.
So he texted me while I was in the CAF, and his text was, he ain't say, hey. He ain't say, how you doing? No. So you just gonna keep coming to church and not sing?
Oh, good one, Josh.
And I was like,
good one, Josh.
I didn't have no words. I was like, okay, when's rehearsal?
Okay.
So I think at the time rehearsals were Tuesdays. I think rehearsals were on Tuesdays. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna come to rehearsal on Tuesday. I never went to rehearsal on Tuesday. So Easter rolls around. And my first rehearsal was the Tuesday before Easter Sunday.
So you finally, after a bunch of weeks,
yes.
Easter comes. Mm-hmm. What makes you decide, okay, this Tuesday I'm going to actually go?
He said something to me at church.
He was sick of it,
yeah,
basically.
He was sick of my ass, for real. So I was like, all right, I'm going to come for real. I'm not. And then my mom was like, Rone, you can't keep telling people you're going to do something and you don't do it.
Okay, listen. First of all, I was going to do this a second ago, but we're going to do it right now.
Okay.
Let's shout out your mama. Because
Miriam,
throughout your whole story, she coming in clutch.
It's me and her.
She coming in real clutch, man.
That's my bestie.
So she told you, like, look now, you're looking messy.
Yeah, like, don't be doing that. Because that's a reflection of you.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, dang.
So, okay, why were you not going to rehearsal? Was there a reason you weren't going?
College, grief, partying. Yeah. I'm just like, I'll get there. When I feel like it.
You on that type of time.
Yeah, that's where I was at with it.
Yeah.
So I went. It was great. And I ended up singing after like 3 weeks. So by this time, it was like May.
Okay.
And I didn't even know I was going to be singing because at the time we were doing like 6 weeks. So it would have to, you would basically, once you get on the team, you just get in the flow of things, like, you know, learning music, things like that.
And it's normally, a singer normally has to come to rehearsals and check things out for 6 weeks before they sing on a Sunday. That's
you got 6 weeks.
Shout out the world over.
You not just getting on the stage. No.
Yo.
Because and I see why. Because
yes,
honestly,
when you go there and you watch their praise and worship, you see why. There's a standard. Yo,
I want to look at every single camera like.
There's a standard.
Yeah.
That's how it should. Listen, this is what okay. Now we got to pause.
We're going to pause.
We have to pause and say this.
Yeah. Shout out to my church.
The music department is not an auxiliary for people to just volunteer because they want to be seen and heard. People should actually be good at it.
Yeah.
It's not the usher board. I'm sick of this.
I'm actually weak.
It's not the usher board. It's not the greeters ministry.
It's not.
Anybody can wave a flag. Everybody can't sing in the right key.
Nope. Everybody cannot.
Jesus.
Everybody cannot. But honestly, the 6 weeks makes sense.
Yes.
Because when I got the songs, right? So I think it was See Revival.
Okay.
It was Hosanna.
Okay.
It was, I don't remember the other songs, but I know those two for sure.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm listening to the songs. I'm learning.
And are you good by ear?
Listen.
Okay,
so I'm like, I'm learning what I hear.
And
then I get in there and they're like doing little stuff that I never heard before. And I was like, oh my God, that is in the song. So it's like, okay, now it makes sense. Let me actually listen to these songs and listen for what I think they will hear. Even if it's in the music, I'm going to over listen now. So anyways, I'm thinking I got my 6 weeks to go.
Yeah.
Right. Easter was at like the end of the month.
Yeah.
But at this time, I think, or the middle of April or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm never going to forget. It was spring graduation at Central. I was supporting my friends. Some of them were graduating. And Josh texted me. Again, didn't say no hey. Didn't
So
say.
Josh don't do greetings.
He,
Straight to the point.
he just like, I'm going to tell you what I got to tell you.
Yeah.
So he was like, you ready for your first Sunday? Mind you, it's a Saturday.
Whoa. So like tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Shout out Josh.
And I was like, I had only been to, I think, 3 rehearsals.
Okay.
So I went to rehearsal that Tuesday. I knew what the set was. I knew everything.
You knew the intricacies.
Yeah, I knew everything. I was sweet. I was cool.
Perfect.
And I had already sang with it because we had used in-ears at our church. So
That was the first time you ever used in-ears too?
the first time I used in-ears, I sang background for Marcus Anderson.
Let's go.
He had something at the church.
Shout out Marcus Anderson.
Yeah, love Marcus Anderson.
Yeah.
So I sang background for him. So that was my first time using the in-ears. So I was already familiar with the in-ears.
Yeah.
So I had my ears already. Like, I was like, okay. Get there. It was great.
Yeah.
I mean, so ever since that moment, I've been singing at the church.
Wow.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
put out the song
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah.
And the song that I put out was a song that me and the girls did in the girl group.
Okay.
And I kind of wanted to get it remastered to kind of match the sound of now.
Uh-huh.
Because it seemed like it was just older. Like, it was just
Yeah.
like, back in the day, like
Yeah.
younger. And I wanted it to be a more mature sound.
Yes,
Because
absolutely.
at the time, I'm like, what, 19, 20?
Mhm.
So I'm like, yeah, I want this to sound
Yeah.
grown. Because
Yeah.
I'm grown.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I was 21. I had just turned
Let's
21.
go.
I was 21. So I put that out, and then I had a show. I had a show prior to that.
Okay.
So I had a show March 2019, right before the pandemic.
Okay.
Like, literally, the world shut down after my show.
Yeah.
I'm not even exaggerating. The next week it shut
That's
down.
crazy.
So I had the show, put the song out.
Yeah.
And then 2021 pandemic came around.
Yeah.
I hated my sound.
Oh,
I stopped singing.
Why?
I just went through a phase. I don't know. I just didn't like how I sounded. I was like, I'm taking all these videos down. Oh, they were archived. Some of them were deleted because I was just like, I didn't like it.
You had too much time to think during the shutdown. Is what it is.
I didn't like it. So I did, and before I did a show too. I did a Christmas show. Hated it. Like, I honestly want to delete it now to this day. But even then, I was just like, I don't like this. And I remember we were recording like services at church because it was pandemic, so nobody was coming to church. Our church was shut down for a while.
Yeah,
like, we wasn't playing.
But the team was coming in.
There was a select team that came in. It was the same group of people
Because of the
pandemic. So it was the same group of us. We always came in. And sometimes it would be 3 of us on stage, 6 of us on stage. But I think it was 2022-ish, maybe. My timeline might be a little weird at this point. But the lights, the band was sound checking, the lights were doing stuff, and I was sitting down, and Josh came to me, and he was like, you need to put all your videos back on your page right now because Todd Galbraith just asked me for an alto for his live recording. And I told him so you need to do it now. And I was like, okay. So I'm like going through my archives and I'm like putting all the videos up there. And so I remember Todd called me like a few weeks later because I didn't think it was going to happen because I hadn't heard from him.
Okay.
So he called me like a few weeks later. No, he texted me. He was like, are you available to do this? And I'm like, oh yeah, sure. So first of all, I'm pressed because I'm like, I'm singing alto. Can't nobody tell me nothing.
Yeah.
I done booked my first, well, this is not my first gig, but this is like kind of a big deal.
A big deal, yes. Is this
Live
your first
recording?
live recording?
No.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
not my first one. I sang for Charles Clark.
Okay, let's go.
My brother. That's my bro. So I did his live recording.
Yeah.
And I was like, of course, like doing stems, like with my church and things like that. But Todd Galbraith was like my first, like.
Yeah.
So, he texted me. He was like, "Are you available?" Boom, boom, pow. And I'm like, "Yeah." Didn't hear from him for almost like a month.
Okay.
And so then he called me and he was like, "We doing it this day, boom, boom, pow, South Carolina." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm so excited."
Yeah.
Get to church and Josh was like, oh, you sing a soprano, right? I said, mind you, I had the music. I had already shed all the alto parts.
They set you up good.
Oh, I was so mad. I
Yo.
was so pissed because I'm like, first of all, it was high. My mind, so I was already listening to soprano because that's what I naturally hear.
Okay.
So I had it. It was easy to learn, but I was just trying to be in my alto bag.
Yeah.
And that's not what happened. But yeah, I did the Todd Galbraith live recording,
Yeah.
Encounter 2.
Yeah.
So y'all be singing that in y'all churches? And that be me.
Let's go.
But yeah, so I did that.
Yeah.
And then I was singing with Todd for a little bit. Like if he came in the area, he would call me. Things like that. And so Denar, who he sings with Travis Green, he's at Forward City.
Okay.
Denar Young.
Okay.
This is crazy. Every time I talk about it, I'll be like, yo, what? Okay, so he did like vocal arrangement, creative direction for all of Todd's stuff for the recording, right?
Okay.
I did not know anybody for Todd's recording. So I was there by myself.
Yeah.
Like I knew Jade, who sang alto, and I knew Mikey
Uh-huh.
Whitaker. I don't know if you know him.
No.
But I know him from like North Carolina area, Greensboro, things
Okay.
like that. So I know them. I knew them too, those two, but like I was pretty much there by myself.
Uh-huh.
Like I drove to South Carolina first time 3.5 hours by myself. Yeah. So Denar, he didn't know me from a can of paint. I didn't know him either.
Yeah.
And I remember being on the phone with Charles the day before the recording. And I'm like, yeah, I'm in South Carolina. I'm doing Tye. And Charles was like, oh my God, like going off or whatever.
Yeah.
So I hung up from Charles, and Denar happened to be in the room. He doesn't even remember saying this to me, which is crazy. But his words were like, oh, Rene, I hope you know, like, you're not here by an accident. Like, you're not here because somebody couldn't sing or we couldn't find who we wanted. Like, no, you're actually supposed to be here. And I was like, oh. And that was the first time Denar ever even, like, he was super nice. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, super nice, like, all the things. But that was his first time, like, actually speaking directly to me, like, on a, like, personal level.
Yeah.
So then that happened, and then he would call me for like to do stems for like Travis Green stuff, like Forward City stuff.
Yeah.
I did a couple of songs for stems. And then he called me. Now I'm about to get into present time.
Yeah, let's
go.
go.
Now we caught up.
Okay.
So he called me. I want to say it was like end of February, March of 2024.
Okay.
He called me. He's like, hey, so I got called to do, I have all creative control over Tye Tribbett's tour this summer. So I'm like, I already seen the flyer for the Only One Night Though tour. And I'm like, love Tye Tribbett. Love him down. Yeah. Like, literally love him down. Like, there's like, favorite gospel artist, I'm going to say Tye Tribbett.
Yeah.
So he's like, I have full creative control and I want you to do stems. Because he was like, I got control over the set, stage, all the things. And he was like, and if I use anybody for these stems, like I want to use my people that I trust.
Yeah.
And I was like, duh, I'm down.
Yeah.
I kid you not, I got off that phone. I went to my mom and I was like, told her everything, and I was like, Lord, let him need a soprano. We like, yeah, we hope he need a soprano. But in my head, I'm like, Ty's not gonna need a soprano. Why? Because the same people sing with him all the time.
Yeah.
You don't see Tye Tribbett ever with different faces.
Yeah.
Unless they've decided to, do their own thing. You always see the same faces.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
But it's cool.
Yeah.
So me personally, on a personal level, top of the year, January, my prayer, like I had prayers.
Okay.
And I'm like, I want to travel. I want to manage my money better. I want to travel, whether it's for work or leisure. Like, I really want to go on tour. That's my dream, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like praying on these things every day. And I remember the Lord, like, it was just placed on my heart to get back to posting. So I do these things on Tuesdays called Rone's Cover Up Tuesdays. So I call them R Cut.
Yeah.
And so I'll post like, it was to the point where I was like, okay, Lord, what do I need to sing today? And he was giving me these songs. I was just getting the songs. Like, okay. Oh, this song popped in my head. Okay, let me do this. Like songs I literally forgot about that I'm like posting myself singing, right? So those, I'm doing all the things. I'm praying. I'm like in my Bible every day. I'm like, I'm doing self-work. And then Denard calls me with the whole stems thing. And I'm like, oh yeah, but let him need a soprano.
Yeah.
But then I'm also like, nah, that's not going to happen. I kid you not, 2 weeks later, Denard calls me. He's like, yeah, Tye needs a soprano.
So had you already start cutting the stems?
No.
Interesting.
And so I'm like, okay. So I'm a little bit at peace because I got videos on my page. I'm like, because he was like, it's between you and somebody else. And so a little bit of me was like, dang, this somebody else was somebody who has sang with people before.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I don't really know. But in my head, I'm like, it's fine because even if I don't get this call, if I don't get the job, my name was in the room. He saw my page. He heard my voice. So I'm cool.
Yes.
I'm sweet.
Yes.
Even if I don't get this job, that was my posture.
Yeah.
And went to rehearsal that night and I was just locked in. Like I was just like praying, you know. And it's crazy because so I'm assistant vocal director at my church now.
Let's go.
So I was leading rehearsal that night.
Yeah.
And Jaleesa Faye, who also sings with Tye, she texts me and she's like, hey, she calls me Ronasia. So she's like, hey, Ronasia, you know, do a good job leading rehearsal tonight. This is like the next step to your journey, open the doors or whatever. Like she's saying all of this stuff. And in my head, I'm like, she knows something because I'm like, I've led rehearsals before. This is not my first time doing this. So I'm like, why is she even texting me this? So I'm thinking she knows something. Come to find out, she had not a clue.
Roger is the way you say it.
So I started singing and people were like, oh my God, she can sing. It's crazy. I was the church kid. I was the goody two shoes. I was the one that did all of the homework. I would be in church and doing my homework. Most days were good. Some days would be like, dang, like, okay, I'm sort of like an outcast in a sense. And most people are considered an outcast when they do the bad things. And so for me to kind of like be the outcast or the loner because I'm doing the right thing, it was really like confusing to me.
If you enjoyed this clip and would like to enjoy more, search the RXS Podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts, or watch the RXS Podcast on RXS Entertainment YouTube channel.
So Denard calls me the next day. He's like, it's a yes. And I was like, shut the front door.
So first, this is what's crazy. Like, you have a relationship with Jaleesa, literally. Y'all singing at church together. She has no idea that you may be a part of this tour.
I'm literally being considered for singing next to her.
And she's already on?
Yeah, she's like, oh yeah, we're going on tour.
Yo.
Yeah.
So what was her reaction when you told her?
So
like, how did you tell her?
Okay, so I saw her at church that Sunday.
Okay.
Because she was leading by herself. But she already knew because I think Josh
so you couldn't even break it to her.
But she was still excited. Like she was like, we supposed to be praying over the seats, and she running around the church like we like
yes.
But yeah.
That's crazy. So you talk to your mom, I hope they need a soprano. Denard calls you, he needs a soprano. Did you cry, bro?
Did I freaking cry? I actually want to show you the picture of when I found out.
You have to.
Can you see my phone, please?
Yes. Yo, we gotta, and we're gonna put it on the screen. We're gonna put it on the screen
yeah,
too.
I'm gonna send it to you so you can put it up there. Did I find out after Easter? And then I have this Sunday of when I found out. So like after I found out, I was like,
okay, so wait a minute. You find out about this tour around the time of Easter?
Yes.
which is the same time you actually started at World Overcomers? Years before?
Oh my God, I never even thought about that.
Yo, that's how it be.
I didn't even think about that. Wait, and why can't I find it?
It's okay. You can show it to me later. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna just.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
the sticker. I'm gonna just text you the sticker.
Yeah.
But
How many years later? Between World Overcomers and the Tye Tour, how many years is that?
maybe like 5. And you want to know what's even more crazy?
What?
The very last concert I went to with my dad, Tye Tribbett.
That's crazy.
And I posted. So if y'all go look on my page, on my Instagram page, I posted like the Snapchat that I made, and I was like, I want to be on stages like this. I want to be in a venue like this. And we were in like, the venue at the time was the Sony Music Hall in New York. And we were in like theaters. We were in like this tour. We were in theaters, like huge theaters. So yeah.
Renee,
5
that's
years later.
Crazy.
Yeah. Wild.
What was the tour experience like for you?
It was a blast.
Yeah.
I learned so much, especially from like Tye himself. It's so much stuff he talked about,
Yeah.
like on a spiritual level, and then like musically.
Yeah.
Like it's so much.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Yeah.
actually still deep. Like people are asking me how was tour, what did you learn, and I'm like, guys, I just need to sit down and write it all out.
Yeah.
Because I'm still. It's this my first tour, and it was a major tour. Like this wasn't no North Carolina,
Yeah.
DC,
Yeah.
and then I'm coming back. No.
Yeah.
So I'm literally still debriefing it all, but it was a blast. I had the best time of my life.
That's amazing.
And then for Tye to like, he knew my dad on a personal level. Like he told me that my dad used to like help him out.
So when you got hired, he knew nothing about that?
So he didn't know my dad.
Okay. So he already knew that.
He knew that my dad was my dad because I had a picture of him on my Instagram.
Perfect. I got
So
you.
I guess when he was like scrolling down, and what's crazy is, I'm gonna just say this to people too: post all parts of your voice on your page, cause I had my shower singing my cute little R&B, like quiet. Yeah. So he was like, "Oh, she's so cute."
Yeah.
And so, I mean, of course I can sing, but I can do way more than what's on my page.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, post everything.
Cause that, like, in 2024, for anybody who does anything that requires them to be hired by other people, social media is your digital resume. When it's time to get hired, whether you cook, sing, clean, anything, people checking that social media first. So it's important, bro.
Yep.
So you had cute singing up, but you had enough relationships for people to be able to vouch for your whole voice.
Yeah, but then I also had so like this was Easter, right after Easter. So I had just did an arrangement for our worship team for Let the Praise Begin.
Okay.
We did like a Fred Hammond situation, and I had that up there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I had me singing out up there.
Okay.
And what's even crazy is I was sick as crap on Easter. I wasn't even singing. I was just on stage lip singing.
Wow.
So.
But you had did the arrangements in the stem, so your voice was still in there.
Yeah, it was still there.
It was still there.
But, yeah.
Wow. So you with Tye, and you find out that your dad knew him really well and helped him out.
And what's crazy is, and it's easy, like for me, sometimes I don't even like to name drop my dad or name drop my aunts or anything like that because I want to get stuff by myself, like we just talked about.
Yeah.
I want to do stuff like book me because I can sing.
Yes.
Don't book me because you know my aunt or you know my dad or like, you know what I'm saying? So it was good to get that constant reassurance from him on tour, like, no, you're not just here because your dad is who your dad is. Yeah. You here because you're actually good.
Yeah.
Like, he would literally see me in sound check and he would hug me, say, hey. And he'd be like, no, I'm so freaking happy that you're here. Like, you're killing.
And here's the thing. Some people don't know this, but like singers and musicians know this. Sometimes that little pat on the back or that little affirmation can go a long way.
A long way.
Because you have people who are extremely gifted and they are masking a lot of stuff to go before people. So to have
That was me
somebody,
for a while. This tour actually brought me back. I went from being so confident and so like out there to like kind of shelling, like putting this shadow over myself because I kind of was comparing myself. I didn't think I was good enough. I didn't think I sounded good enough. I didn't think I sounded like what was it, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, it makes perfect
So
sense.
it's like I get on this tour, and then you got Tye Tribbett throwing a solo at me in rehearsal randomly, and I'm thinking this is like, oh, this just for rehearsal. No, this man was like, Jaleesa's singing "Look Up," so she like pressure every day, like she's singing in rehearsal, and he like, yeah, throw it to her, like after when you get to that part, and I'm like, I'm looking at Jocelyn like, throw it to who?
Yeah.
And he like, yeah, you know the words. And so, mind you, Tye Tribbett has so much music. Yeah. So I'm like, no. And so I'm thinking me saying no is gonna get me out of here.
Oh no, learn it, Doc.
He was like, no. That's when I heard a promise to me. He's like telling me the words. And I'm like, that's what I heard. So I was like, sing it. So the tour definitely brought me
Back out of the shell.
Yeah, because I don't know. I just would have never thought like Tye Tribbett would have even been like, oh yeah, no, you're gonna sing this part. So I sang first tour, Tye Tribbett, and I got a solo.
After not feeling good enough.
After not feeling good enough. After feeling like I wasn't seen. That I was forgotten about. And that's why when I got this tour and I put in my post like, this is just a sweet little reminder for anybody. Like, if you think you're forgotten about, you're not. Yeah. You're seen. Even when you think you're not, you're seen. Yeah.
So now, how do you feel about yourself and your singing at this point in your life?
I love me.
Let's go.
I'm like I'm to the point, and it's not even in a cocky way. Like, nobody sounds like me. Yeah. Nobody has my sound. Nobody has my talent. Not that I think that I'm better than anybody, but it's just like what I can bring to the table, nobody else can. Yeah. And I'm just dwelling in that. I'm just confident in that.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And I'm still, and honestly, to be transparent, like sometimes, not even sometimes, but now I was just telling my mom today, like in my next self-reflection and reflecting after this tour, like I want what people think of me and how people speak so highly of me. I want to be even more confident in that, because I even got this and I'm like, who would have thought? And then I got like my brother Johnny telling me like, oh, I would have thought it. I knew it was going to happen. And I'm like, I would have never thought.
Yeah.
So it's like, I just want to think the highest thought of myself always.
Absolutely.
And not care what nobody else think. And getting this tour, when you get opportunities, who's in your corner, you going to know who in your corner based on how they react. Because I had people that was like crying with me. I called my friend Patrice and I was like, oh, I'm going on tour. She wanted to talk to me about something else. And I was like, oh, I'm going on tour. She started crying real bad. Like, just happy for me. Like, everybody who's in my inner circle, they was like, oh, I knew it was going to happen. Yeah. I'm not surprised. And then I had people that was like, oh, congrats. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And those people love y'all, but.
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm not trying to be different or like act funny, but it's like these are people that I tried to keep around me that was literally just dead weight. And now I'm thinking you my friend. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
And then I get this opportunity and you like, I love that for you.
Yeah. And it's a situation that shows itself often. People are always going to be cool with you until you do something.
Yep, that they want to do. That they want to do.
When you do it before them or without them, you're going to really see how they really feel.
Yep.
And it sucks, but it's true.
And it sucks. It sucks really bad.
Especially when you love them genuinely.
Yes.
And would have been hyped
if it was them.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's people that I thought were my road dogs, that when I got to Raleigh, I'm like, did you get a ticket? Are you coming? Ain't hurt. Nothing. Did not even come. Did not. And even if they couldn't make it, like I had friends that was like, I literally just couldn't afford to be there, but I'm sending my love.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of you. Like, they were still checking on me throughout the tour. But then there was people that when I got to Raleigh, hometown, like I'm home.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, are you coming to the show? No text back. No call back. No nothing.
Interesting.
And then I'm coming back again.
Yeah. Gang, gang, gang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I'm home again and you're still being weird. You're just not. My brother pastor was just telling me this too. And we had a one-on-one on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody can't go.
Flat out.
Everybody can't go.
It's just like that.
Everybody can't go.
And you know what hurts, bro? When you have in your mind
I
a
already know where you going.
specific person or group of people, and them or that person be the exact ones that's revealed to you that cannot go.
Yep.
That's another type of grief. To have to disconnect yourself.
And then and nothing happened.
Except you doing something they want to do. To them, but here's the crazy thing.
Just jealous.
It's hurtful to them. Because it's like, when somebody thinks that they're as good as you
Mm-hmm.
or better than you,
Mm-hmm.
and they are right there with you,
Mm-hmm.
and then you do something they want to do,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you know what they hear? She's better than you.
Yep.
So it's hard to genuinely be happy because in their mind, they process it from the lens of what they're not capable of.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, dang. Where clearly if she got it, she got something I don't have. And I don't like that.
Yep.
I mean, I love her, but this doesn't feel good. And I don't know how to say, Rone, I want to be happy for you, but it hurts because I want to be there too.
Right. So let me help you.
Back to the help.
That's when that comes in.
Yes.
That's when that's like, okay, I want to be there. I thought we was on the same level. You done kind of. It's like, let me help you.
Yes.
I don't have no problem doing it.
Yes.
I don't think I'm better than you. So yeah, now I'm here.
Yeah, I'm so happy for you, yo.
Thank you so much.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it's super.
It's a dream come true.
And it's super inspiring because all creatives have that moment where they feel like they're not good enough or they feel like they
Jasmine
aren't being
freaking
seen.
Sullivan. Jasmine freaking Sullivan.
Yeah, that's enough said right there.
She went through a whole like phase for how many years?
Yes.
And then put out this album, got Grammys. They calling her for Essence Fest. Like, she's doing all the things.
Yes.
Like, and I think she was a little bit of inspiration for me too. Like, it's okay, and my mom too.
Shout out your mama again.
It's okay to have those moments, but you can't get stuck there.
Yeah. That's the key, bro.
You can't get stuck there. But you also got to have, which is on my prayer list too, like, you got to have those people behind you that's like, I'm like, God, even when I feel like I can't do it no more, I want the people that's constantly around me to be like, no, you got this.
Yeah.
Even when I'm like, no, bro, I can't do it. They like, no, yes, you can. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, since you've been home from tour,
Mm-hmm.
have you, like, reevaluated your, like, people? Yo, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's like a slow cut off.
Okay.
Cause I'm not a cold turkey type of girl.
Yeah.
I cannot do cold turkey.
Okay.
Unless it's like really something that's like, yeah, you don't get a pass for this. Like this one guy I was talking to at one time when my dad first died, he didn't text me for Father's Day to check on me. He didn't text me for Christmas to check on me. Nothing. That was a cold turkey block.
Yeah, you like, all right, you through.
Yeah. Cause you don't really care about me. You don't care about my heart for real. So, but other than that, like when it come to like cutting friends off or people that I know aren't really good for me, I kind of got to wean myself because I can't just be like, no, I'm not talking to you anymore. I'm not that type of girl.
Yeah.
But I definitely have reevaluated, like, but honestly, yes and no, because before I went on tour, I kind of had the people, I kind of started weaning them off anyway.
Okay. So the tour just helped you be like, bing, okay, I'm definitely right. I need to separate from this person.
Yeah. And then I had my mom in my ear. It's something about that one. It's something about that one. It's something about
and
that
then
one.
here's the thing. Y'all from up north too, so it's real.
Yes.
Like, it
And
don't
then,
take long for y'all to be like, hold up.
Yeah. And then when the tour came, it was just confirmation. Like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, yeah.
Are you hurt or disappointed that you have to distance yourself from some people that you really love?
No.
Good. You said that too fast, Rone. Like, why did you say no so fast?
Because I still love them.
Yeah.
My heart doesn't change.
Yeah.
But there are just some people that you just grow away from.
Yes.
We just grew apart.
Yeah.
And not that God doesn't have great things in store for you, but I know what he has in store for me.
Yes.
And if you and how you act and how you move don't add up with his plan for me, then you can't come. And that's okay. I'll see you at the open mics.
Yeah.
I'll see you if I come to the open mics.
So, have you always had that point of view about it?
No.
Okay.
Since I moved here, I was always, for a while, like, honestly, almost up until I got into college.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be with the cool kids, or I just wanted to fit in somewhere. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
And it's okay to not fit in. It's okay to be different. It's okay to not be like the rest.
Tye said, stand out.
Yeah.
Do not go on.
Stand up. Yes.
And that's real.
Yes.
Like, we spend a lot of time trying to fit in and not trying to stand out.
Yes. And
But
then you miss because you trying to fit in. Every single time I was like, oh, I'm not supposed to be here. Boom, something happened. Oh, I'm not supposed to be doing this. Something happens.
Yes.
Oh, I'm supposed to be going this way. Tour. Like, it's every time I realize that, like, something good happened.
Yes.
And
yes.
I honestly, at the end of the day, it's just knowing, like, I'm anointed.
Yes.
I'm favored.
Yes.
Like, and I'm not like other people.
Yes.
And it's okay.
Yes.
Because what they do might work for them, but it don't work for me.
Yeah. That's real.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you so much.
And the reason why I say that is because it takes a lot of faith, courage, patience to get through those dark times.
Heavy on the patience.
Gosh. Cause it's like, what's that commercial? Something and I need it now, or something like that. It's a commercial that has thinking and I need it now.
Yes,
like,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking
y'all
about.
put it in the comments because y'all know.
Dang,
But
what is
like
it?
we kind of be
I know
like,
what you're talking about.
we kind of be in that space where it's like, God, I want you to do it, and I want you to do it now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, it ain't gonna happen like
And the
that.
whole time, you're not even ready.
That be the thing. It's like, and ain't it funny that you're in a space where you want something really bad that you're not ready for, and then you go through a phase.
Oh my God. Yo, to backtrack just a little bit.
Yes.
Right? So after Todd's album came out, Encounter 2, right?
Yeah.
It came out.
Yeah.
He went on tour. I didn't go. He had 3 singers though, but even still in my head, I'm like, why?
Yeah.
I did the live recording. I did the stems. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Whole time I was not even ready, bro. Yeah. Not even ready, because in Tye's story, don't get me wrong, like, still a big deal. You know what I'm saying? But like, if it was anything compared to what I did with Tye, then and now, two totally different Rones. Like,
absolutely.
and I went through so much, like, internally, and it was just so much that happened between Todd's tour and Tye's tour that just shifted my mindset, shifted how I am as a person, my attitude, good and bad. Like, and I just wasn't ready. I was so childish. Like,
yeah.
And it's cool to dream. It's cool, but while you're dreaming, also ask for the preparation.
Yes.
Because you don't ever want to get somewhere. You got the opportunity, then you F it up. Because you done did something childish or just did something that and it just blew it.
Yes.
So yeah. I'm great. I was sad that I wasn't on the whole run for Todd's tour. I did like a few spot dates, but at the same time, like I did a whole tour.
Yeah.
And everything that happened leading up to Tye's tour, Only One Night Though, prepared me like for it.
Yes.
So yeah.
The last question I want to ask you is for people who aspire to like be in the position you're in. And when I say the position you're in, like they want to be able to sing professionally.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you manage like church, tour, work? Like, how do you?
Well, what's crazy is I put my time in. I wanted to take a leave of absence.
Okay.
For a tour. My boss said no. And I said, well, I'm giving you my 2 weeks. I'm not passing that up.
Yeah.
So she asked me to come back while I was on tour. And I was like, absolutely. But how I manage it all, I don't really know. Because when you're on tour, like, of course, you're like focusing on that music, all the things. But also, I don't know, what kind of kept me headstrong, I did a lot of journaling while I was gone. So I'm like writing down how I felt. Like, even because there were times I was on tour and I was like, I miss my mother. I miss my bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because them hotel beds.
Yeah.
Now, granted, they were great. We were in great hotels. We were spoiled for sure. But still, like, I love my bed.
It ain't your bed.
Anybody who knows me, the feet are going to be rubbing together.
Yes.
At my house.
Yeah.
In a bed.
Yeah.
So I just did a lot of journaling, and I don't know, like by the time I got home, it didn't feel like it was just so much of like okay, now I'm, you know what I'm saying? Like I kind of was prepared. Like I kind of was just like, okay, when I get back, I'm writing all this stuff down while I'm on tour. Yeah. When I get back, I'm going back to work on this date. Like just writing stuff out just helped me mentally manage. Because when you on tour, you're not home, so you can't really like delegate things. But writing stuff down and like, of course, praying.
Yeah.
That's how I had to kind of like navigate and delegate things like that.
One thing I want to highlight that you said that I think is very wise.
Mm-hmm.
When your boss, supervisor, whatever term y'all like to use, said, hey, you can't take this leave, you're like, okay, I'm going to put in my 2 weeks. You were still wise enough to do it the right way.
Mm-hmm. I put in my 2, but also, y'all, please know that I was like, what the heck am I going to do when I come back? Yeah. But I also was like, God didn't bless me with this tour for me to come back home trying to figure out what I'm going to do.
And that's where the faith comes in.
Faith.
Like I have to trust God, like he put me here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to trust him.
And that was a strong trust too. Yeah. It was a strong trust because I'm like, what's crazy is when we were rehearsing too, Tye was like, yes, you know, we're doing the concert, but we're also ministering to people. Yeah. And because we're pouring, and like we got our armor on, like we're fighting, like this is war. You know what I'm saying? The attacks are gonna come for us. Yeah. My mom lost her job the day before my tour. The day before tour started, I'm in Philly, and she like, oh yeah, they just fired me. And so dealing with that on top of my dream coming true, it's like, oh, I just had to have faith. So my boss hadn't even asked me to come back yet. So between thinking about that and me not knowing what I'm going to do when I get back, I'm like, oh, tour money is down the drain. No, I saved more money than I've ever saved since my dad died. Yeah. Saved so much money being on tour, and I got my job back.
Let's go.
And she's making money.
So you didn't burn through your tour money?
No.
Good job.
No.
So.
And I still handled my responsibilities too.
But here's the thing. So now let's talk about y'all that be on the road.
Stop wasting your money.
Yes. So now you have a cushion of money with a job and singing at church. Let's clap it up. Put some claps in the comments, y'all. Let's go. That's like grown woman type stuff, Rone.
But I had to literally. That's why I keep saying, like, I would not have even done that on Todd's tour.
Yeah, you would.
I would have came back home. My mom would have been like, "Are you serious?
Yeah,
coming back home with $50." You know, went to all these cities. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So I just grew up. When I got paid per diem, straight to my savings. Check 20% to my savings. Like I'm like, oh no, this going to my savings, and I'm still giving my mom. Cause first of all, life don't stop.
Yes.
So we still gotta pay rent, still got phone bills, still got cable bill, like all of this stuff, right? So I'm still sending her bill money, and I'm still doing what I want to do as well. But I'm like, okay, let me mentally. So I went into tour with the mindset like, okay, I'm making money, but I also don't have none. Yeah. And I want to be these are my prayers. Like I want to be a good steward over everything that I get. Like God don't bless me with it and then I blow it.
Yes.
I don't want that.
Yes.
And I don't want Rone to be the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, no.
Yeah.
So just help me to be a good steward over my blessings, my talents, my gifts, my everything.
Yes.
Because I don't want to mess it up.
Absolutely.
So the money was great. I'm like, oh, shoot, I ain't seen this before. Like,
yeah.
I'm getting this because I can sing and I sound good. Oh, yeah, I wanted to go in Zara and ball out.
Yeah.
I wanted to go all the makeup stores, but I'm like, no, I'm going to get me a fragrance.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put money to the side.
Yes.
I'm going to make sure I eat.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just keep staying on top of myself because I really just don't want to blow it.
Yes.
And that's with anything.
Yes.
Anything in life, I'm like, okay, let me keep that same mindset I had on tour with life.
Yes. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Cause and that's the thing, like you were saying, like we dream big, we desire much, but we don't do well with what we have.
And be childish with it though.
Yes. And then be
even
mad.
Grown people though.
Be
like
mad.
you're making a lot of money.
And you're spending.
People older than me, like you're making a lot of money, but what are you doing with your money?
Yes.
Are you investing it? Are you saving it? Are you?
Because it's people who are more financially secure and stable who make less because of how they handle money.
How they handle it, yep. Yeah.
And I'm just now learning that, like, it's not as much about how much you make as it is about how well you manage.
How you handle it, how you manage it, yep. And my mom has been teaching me that though too. Like she's like all the time, because I just be spending stuff. Like, yes. Buying clothes, just doing stuff. And for a long time, she was like, you need to invest your money. So like to me, when my dad died, I got money. So went to the studio, I saved that. You know, I invested that into myself. I had a show, you know, I'm investing that. But then after a while, so when I got into that spell where I'm like, I'm not feeling myself. I'm in Miami, balling out. I'm like buying $500 packages from Shein, Fashion Nova.
Is this in an attempt to feel better?
I just didn't care. And she was just that constant reminder, like she just always telling me, don't be frugal with your money. save your money, save your money, save your money, save your money. Like, you don't want to be wasteful. And so, yeah, when I got the tour, I was like, I really don't want to blow this. Yeah. Like, okay, it's time for me to grow up just a little bit and stop being childish with money.
Let's go.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So at this point now, you feel better about yourself.
I do.
You saving your money.
I am.
You're maximizing opportunities.
Yes.
And you still doing the post every Tuesday?
So I stopped for a while because I was on
tour. Because of the tour.
But I probably will bring it back when life kind of calmed down a little bit.
Okay.
I definitely do plan on bringing it back though, for sure. I want to go live and like do like song requests because I got followers from being on tour. These people was finding me. I'm like, how y'all find me? So like when I go live now, like my I guess, what's the word? Action, feedback. I don't know. I just people come in there now.
Yeah.
So I feel like if I was to go live, like I would have a little bit more interaction. That's the word.
Yes.
So I want to go live, maybe like 30 minutes to an hour, song requests, talk, things like that on Tuesdays. Yes. Just for content.
That's fire.
Yeah.
So speaking of interaction, as we close, like preachers say, I want to end with you expressing the normal people, most people would say the ministry side of it.
Okay.
But I just want people to hear from you, a person in your position, the responsibility and the weight of what you do when it comes to other human beings experiencing your gift.
That is a crazy statement, question, prompt. My God. The weight. I don't really know what to say to that because that's kind of crazy. Because there was so many times on stage where like I saw people, I made eye contact with so many people, and I could just feel that they needed something. And me just smiling at them like, you know, singing the lyrics, like all the things. It was a little hard because I'm like, I can see that they were going through something and I didn't want to take like so many spirits, so many things. But I just feel like if you are humble and you are good at what you do, and your prayer life is strong, and I don't know, you just be locked in. People can feel that. Yes. And I don't know. It's so hard to really kind of respond to that because I'm like, all of the faces and children that were just looking at me on stage and locking eyes with me, and I'm like, and I'm like singing this song. I'm like,
and the reason why I asked you that is because it is so easy to be wrapped up in
performance.
Yes. Like, I'm dope. I got hired. I'm on tour. Okay, great. But you singing to people who need this message.
Yes. It's ministry.
So it becomes a deeper thing. Like, you're literally providing a service on behalf of God. Hey, I need you to go out there and make sure my people's straight. And it's real.
Yeah. But I mean, I think for me, what kind of like made me confident and comfortable in knowing that somebody left changed. That everybody on stage was on the same page, humble, including Tye. Like, it started from the top to the bottom.
Yeah.
Humble and just like knowing like, okay, I'm going through what I'm going through, but I want you to know that we all gonna make it out of this. That's how I was feeling.
Yeah.
So like, even with me thinking, okay, what I'm gonna do when I get back to work? Yeah. I got to no. That's what I'm thinking. Like,
crazy.
That's literally in my head.
Like my mom just lost her job. And then you go up there and you sing those songs.
Yeah, I'm singing, how do I want it all back? You may have thought you won that last round. I'm like, you thought?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
So I'm just, Just thinking about the lyrics, thinking about what we were singing, and just like really taking it personally, because people can see, oh no, she's really feeling what she's singing about, so I'm about to lock in. And that's honestly what happened a lot of the times. Like, the audience would lock eyes with me or anybody else on stage, and they could see that we felt what we were singing.
Yeah.
And that's when it just became a whole like situation.
That's fire.
Yeah. Dang, that was a good.
I
song.
see you still. I see your
I'm
wheels still turning.
I'm gonna be thinking about that all night.
Yeah,
like,
and but
the
it's-
weight of that.
Yes, it's like a responsibility.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of times we see it as an opportunity,
Mhm.
or we see it as a gig, or we see it as a show, but it is also a responsibility.
Yeah, and it's all of that, and also a responsibility.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a certain level of intentionality
Mm-hmm.
we have to walk on stage with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a certain awareness.
Mm-hmm. Expectation.
Yes. Like,
Mhm.
it's a certain mind frame we have to be in, like,
Mhm.
to really serve the people for real.
Absolutely, and that's with anything. That's just not with a gig
Yes.
or a concert or
Yes.
a tour.
Yes. So yeah,
Yeah,
we done now.
I'm gonna be thinking about that all
Yeah,
night. That's
yeah,
crazy.
that's real. And I think anybody who like goes before people to do a thing should think about that.
Absolutely the weight of it,
Yes, because a lot of times we want to be on.
and we forget.
Yes. Yes.
Like y'all be at church leading worship in your little cute outfit, and because you sound good, but it's actually somebody that's on their last reason right now. They on their 13th reason.
Yes.
That's crazy.
yes.
That's a good. You need to ask your other people that.
Yeah, yeah.
Keep that.
Yeah, I would try to
keep that.
Hey, gang,
Ask
gang.
everybody that. Anybody who sing and do this. So if you coming on this podcast, that's gonna be your question too.
Yeah, facts.
I love that.
Yes. Thank you for being here.
I'm so happy. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah, no problem.
Like, it's an inspiration to me for real.
I love that.
And I hope it's an inspiration to anyone who at this present time is in a dark, I don't think I'm good enough space in their life.
Yeah. You're good enough. God has not forgotten about you, and you're not forgotten about.
Yes.
You are seen by God always, and by people, whether you know it or not.
Yes.
Because as long as you got an Instagram, a Facebook, a Twitter, a TikTok,
Yes.
the views are there. And TikTok tell you who looking at your page. So you're seen.
Facts.
Yeah.
Y'all, this has been another episode of the RXS podcast with Rone Grant. We out. Peace.